Good morning, good afternoon, good something, good day to you. That's probably the cleanest way to talk because I don't know what time you're listening to this. I don't even know what time zone you're in. Remember time zone, by the way? I took the boys to time zone in Queensland. I think it's in Coolangatta. And whoa, so loud. So many colours. We live a bit of like a no TV sort of technology is a little bit taboo in our household. Not for my job, obviously. Otherwise, I might not have a job. So God bless technology, just not under a certain age. But yeah. So anyway, just went there and it was just like loud. It was real loud. Boys frothing. They were frothing. I can't remember what we did. We went in some like airplane simulator or something. Got some chocolates out of the machine. You know what to do. Dodge them cars, bumper cars, whatever you call them. What a great time. What a time to be alive. Anyway, talking about the middle here today. And it's something that's come up a little bit for me recently. It is about, speaking to, let's just say you can reference when we talk about someone who can give you repeat work, pretty much everyone goes straight to builder. And I've got no dramas with builders. We did a lot of work with builders. I think there's some excellent builders to partner with and some terrible builders to partner with. I think you can say that about most things. You can say that about a lot of people in life, actually. There's excellent real estates. There's not excellent real estate. There's excellent commercial clients. There's terrible commercial clients. There's excellent companies to partner with. There's terrible companies to partner with. So I think you've got to just reconcile that early on. What we're after is people who can give us some repeat work in it and repeat work, but also align with your company values and you can get along and hopefully you're in a position where your clients can become your friends. And I think that's a great and really healthy situation. And, you spend enough time with someone, they should be your friend. Spend enough time at work with someone, they're probably on a one-way trajectory to having a couple of beers and snitties at the pub, if you know what I'm saying. Or a couple of kombuchas and acai bowls and a surf in the morning. Something, right? It's not all about the pub, but it's all about connection, community, and that kind of stuff. So talking to people, I'm going to say the word builder a few times here. This is one of those legal documents that when I say builder, I also mean, IT company, school, insert anyone who can give you repeat work here. So I'm talking builder, but don't turn off the station, right? Stay with me. So speaking to clients like this, let's say builders. So I was actually speaking to a builder the other day, and he was going, you know what, I only employ, like I try to look for the Sparkies that are still on the tools because, they still care and they'll get it done. And I think like we see this, let's just go there, right? Let's go there. If you're still like, you see people grow their business to 6 to 7 to 8 and then they go back to 0 to 1 because it's easier, and I used to manage staff and I used to have that and I used to be able to throw a football over those mountains. Now I can't, and I would have made first grade but I didn't, but I could have, but I didn't, but I could have. I could have made first grade, right? And it's just kind of like that coulda, woulda, shoulda situation. I tried that, it doesn't work, and let me to be the first to say it does work. Maybe you were just doing it wrong. So people grow the business, and there's a really tricky stage, I reckon, of about 3 to 6 staff where you're kind of on the tools but kind of off the tools, and you're kind of a jack of all trades and you're kind of not, and you're kind of admin lord and you're kind of not, and you're kind of the site lord and you're kind of not, and your on-site work, it is awesome, but let's face it, you're on the phone too much or too distracted, whether you're taking phone calls from clients or staff or people or whatever. It's your attention span is not there. If I gave you the job, if I said your sole job for today is quoting for 8 hours, you'd probably nail it. If I told you your sole job is to rough in this downstairs section or do this electrical job here, do this switchboard, no interruptions, you'd probably nail it. But guess what your life has? Interruptions. It's from lots of different avenues. You've got your emails on your phone, you've got your job management system, you've got your schedule, you've got your admin team calling you, you've got your personal your personal chats like going, it's just stuff going on, and it's a very tricky stage of business. And here's the thing, to go there, and this is the same for anyone, right? So I said this to someone the other day, there's probably two main There's probably two main times you rebuild your price book. The first is when you built your price book. If you've got a price per point, you've got a price book. And if you've got a price book, you're on an hourly rate. I just want to highlight that. Like everyone's like, oh, I don't work on an hourly rate, I work on a price book. And I just think, how do you reverse engineer a price book? You have to reverse engineer it into efficiency, and efficiency has a rate attached to it. It has an hourly rate attached to it. It might be a higher hourly rate than what you would have charged if it was an hourly rate job, but it's still an hourly rate attached to it. You have to be able to reverse engineer this. Your price book isn't just one and done, set and forget. It's not like that. We work in the electrical space. Unless you're doing, anytime you're doing price book and it doesn't need to change, it's probably predictable. Like, let's say a new build or something new, whether it's a renovation, upstairs, back extension, pretty predictable stuff. Let's say it's a PowerPoint at Betty's house, a little bit less predictable. Is Betty in a terrace house? Do I have to chase a wall? Is it conduit? Is it ducting? What is involved in that, adding that PowerPoint? Is it back to back? Is it side to side? Is it round the corner? Is it out the back? Like, there's lots of different variables, as you would know, in the Sparky land, right? So it's like the price book, more than likely when you started, got built to you and your apprentice, if you had an apprentice, but let's just say you had an apprentice and they were awesome because they were trained by you, coached by you, they're experiencing your terminologies, your language, your speed, your wisdom, they've got your skill set because you're passing it down from generation to generation. You're like Mr. Miyagi, and they're like, what's that guy's name? I'm going to say Steven. Is it Steven? The Karate Kid? Damn it, can't remember. Daniel-san. Oh, scary. Daniel-san. You're Mr. Miyagi, they're Daniel-san, and the master becomes a teacher becomes a master, ipso facto, caterpillar turns into a beautiful butterfly, right? That's just what happens. So the apprentice has come from the caterpillar, the very hungry caterpillar, just nomming up inspiration, not nomming up all your stuff. On Monday, they went to one rough-in, but it was still hungry. On Tuesday, it fit off 4 PowerPoints, but it was still hungry. Nom. But caterpillar turns into a cocoon, and that's probably the second or third year stage where they just drop the ball and they're partying too much, or they just get demotivated, and then they're gonna bust out into a beautiful, colorful butterfly, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, I helped create that butterfly." If you don't have kids, you'll be like, "What the hell is this guy talking about?" If you do have kids, chances are you're very, very, very familiar with the very hungry caterpillar, right? Great book. Where were we? Okay, so you built the price book around probably yourself and the tradie, and while you're still on the tools at the start, you can really manage speed, manage variations really well, like manage quality really well. So your price book's probably built to, and here's the thing as well, you probably, most business owners carry a level or have an air of optimism, which is great. You actually you need that as a business owner. So probably your price book is built to best case scenario, like best case time frame because you're an optimist, and best case person because you're a freaking legend. You're awesome. And just look at yourself in the mirror and be like, he's right. The guy's right. I'm awesome. I'm totally awesome. So but you probably have some ability. That's why you started the business, right? So your price book's possibly based on best case scenario, best case person, and as you grow the business, let's face it, not everyone is you. So you have to adjust your price book to suit when the team gets a bit bigger. Now you're pricing to, like okay to average case scenario, and you got to price to okay to average person because people make mistakes. And don't forget, in your price book, you got to take into consideration callbacks and quality and speed and rain and traffic, and all this kind of stuff needs to factor into it. And quantities, like, is there 100 of them or one of them? If there's one of them, the price must go north. If there's 100 of them, the price can go south. So you're dealing with this, and that's on the price book front. On the cost plus front, right, people, and let's just face it, like, let's be totally let's be friends here, right? Like, let's be honest with each other. I'm a massive believer your business will be built upon diversification of work. So you're going to have to major in some service and maintenance stuff. You're going to have to nail the mid-tier projects and maybe some bigger stuff. And you're going to have, in the bigger stuff, sometimes it's cost plus. Sometimes cost plus is outside of your hands. And sometimes it can just be dreamy. It's just kind of like printing money, and you know, there's limited admin time, limited quoting. There's limited variations conversations. There's just a certain element that's amazing to it, and a certain element that's not so amazing. But the price book is the same. I think no matter what way you skin the cat, you're going to come into pros and cons of each, right? There's no clean way forward. The price book presents its own issues. Cost plus presents its own issues. The price book presents some amazing factors. Cost plus presents some amazing factors. So you're looking at it going like, if you're a cost plus and it was you and an excellent apprentice and a tradie, you're probably flying through work. So builders, clients, all these people are getting acclimatized to your speed. They're seeing an invoice come through for $8,000, right? Or 10 grand or 20 grand or whatever. And they're like, couldn't have happened any better. As your team grows, that $8,000 invoice might be 11. So what they're acclimatized to because of excellent service, because of best case scenario, because you were on the tools, and best case person because, hey, you were on the tools. Now Joey's doing the work for you, and Joey's not quite as quick as you, and Joey's taking a bit longer because it's a bit disorganized and it's a bit disheveled, and it's not, once again, not you. So there's a nurturing process of that point that, the 8 goes to 11, and that's just growth of the business. Price book's going to be the same thing. The 8's going to go to 11. So if you're in that stage where you're changing your price book, or your team is growing and the team growing, you're gonna, don't forget, like, your team growing, you're gonna probably, if you had 10 people, you're gonna have 3 probably absolute weapons, 2 to 3 weapons, 2 to 3 pretty good, and maybe 3 or 4 like good, average to good, right? People you can make better, but not absolute weapons like you. So it's really important that rebuild stage happens, and it needs to happen, and that at this point, this is where we want ultimate nurturing. When the invoice is going from 8 to 11, when the quote's going from 8 to 11, there's the product cannot drop, because you already got alarm bells on the price front. And let's just go, we'll come back here, but let's go forward again. When you've got a team of 10, 15, you've got another price book adjustment, pretty serious one, because your small team of excellent operators is now a larger team of good to great operators, and as the company gets bigger, just things blow out a little bit more. You need more toolbox meetings, a couple more admins, you got a warehouse now, so your price book's going to have to move north, and your rates more than likely going to have to move north. So there's a couple of key components and key areas where your rates need to adjust and change to suit the nature of what you're doing. And there's a couple of key moments where the rates also need to change just to suit the actual people you have on site, right? So get this. So we're going from 8 to 11, we need to be really, really conscious of the nurturing. The product cannot drop. The price can change, and that can be communicated. Hey, I've got a bigger team now. And here's the thing as well, not every client's going to come through you from baby to adult. Not every client's going to come through you. Some will be an awesome fit for a season. The goal is to hold on to them forever. Yes, of course, we know that. But I remember there was this one builder, we tried. It was like, I could make the prices work because I was a freaking legend. But I was quoting, I had to be on these sites. I had to be talking to the wholesaler. Oh, hey, that $38 RCD, I need to get that for $37 because I need every single dollar in this thing, right? So I was like, it was putting a lot of stress on me, right? So what happens here is we're looking at it going, okay, as we're growing the business, if I've got to be there, I'm gonna hit a ceiling, because so I had to basically, I was telling this story to a member this week. I was kind of just saying that I remember where I was standing. I was in Elizabeth Bay in the city, right? We're doing a unit renovation. I walked outside to call this builder. He was questioning the price, questioning the last job we did, and it's not quite as good as it used to be. The price is a bit more expensive than it used to be. And I remember just realizing, I think I was trying to hold on for maybe a bit too long. And I remember going like, it's like we were breaking up. Like, I guess that's it, right? I think that's it. It's not you, it's me, like that kind of stuff. And I remember being so scared. I was like, wow, they're X amount of our work, and I'm getting really I've basically I've got to let this person go because it's capping our business. It's capping me, but at the same time, he's also giving us 25%, 30% of our workload, which is scary to let go of. But what's the point of being busy for the sake of being busy, right? I'd rather be at the beach. So I was looking at all these things, going through this range and world of emotions, just like, what do I do? So I remember we amicably broke up and I had some beers. We broke up and I was like, oh, fuck, this is heavy. And I remember we replaced it. We replaced it, the work with much better work, because the time I was spending on his jobs, I pulled myself back, and I was now able to focus up on the quoting, focus up on the admin stuff, focus up on the invoices. I was now able to absolutely nail the back end stuff and get some better clients. So this person was, politely wasting my time, but it was self-inflicted. I was trying to hold on, and not everyone's going to grow with you, but people will grow with you. And I remember a couple of commercial clients we had, you got to nurture through that 8 to 11 process, that basically, hey, it used to be 8, now it's 11, but now get this, we're capable. So when you're a small team, you are essentially incapable. Like, not saying you're not capable of performing electrical work, you're essentially incapable of being in 2 places at once. Why? Because you're not Raiden from Mortal Kombat, right? You're incapable of basically what you've got to do here. You're looking at it going, okay, if you've got a switchboard upgrade that requires your best tradie, yourself, and an apprentice, and you get an emergency call out, you're going to really struggle to get to that emergency call out. If you've got a team because 3 of you are needed, you're urgent. If you've got a team of 12, 15, chances are not everyone is urgent. You can have someone busting out some service and maintenance stuff, right? So super, super important to understand what you might increase in price, and you are now highly capable. And people, larger companies, they want capable, they want capability. You're small enough to care, but you're large enough to cope. That's a great saying if you want to chuck that on your website. Small enough to care, large enough to cope. So looking at it, right, you're looking at it going, okay, sweet. I am now capable, but I've got nurturing to do. I've got to hand over this relationship with this building manager, facilities manager, builder, school now to Joey, because Joey's going to be doing that work. So I've got to wean that client off me and put it to Joey. But here's the thing: Joey's work, if it's more expensive, that's probably going to be okay. But I've got to start setting Joey times. Hey, Joey, this is going to take you a day. The client's expecting a day different, let them know. It's going to take you a week. If it's going to be different, let the client know. This is the variation list. If it's different, let me know. This is the inclusions. If it's different, let me know. Hey, Joey, right, we need to make sure this client's right. So your product has to remain high. This is where roughing checklists, fit off checklists, good job notes, all that stuff come into play, because as you're growing, you want the product to remain, it's probably, let's face it, never going to be as good as when you were doing it, but you want the product to remain good to excellent. Good to excellent. We don't want mistakes. Mistakes draw attention where we don't want them, right? That's what mistakes do. You've got to think someone makes a mistake. It's like, we might let that one slip by. Someone makes 2 or 3 mistakes. It's like, they're not really capable. It's a bit different to what it used to be. You don't want to draw any more attention to the change that your business is going through, and mistakes draw more attention than anything, right? If you have that bad meal, what do? Tell heaps of people. If you had that good meal, what do? Tell some people. So bad news travels really, really fast, a lot faster than good news. So you've got to keep that product high. So your time in the office on that job handover needs to be well nurtured. So if I was approaching this situation, I would, and let's say the builder, let's go to that builder for a second, right? Let's say I was handing over the builder to my top tradie and an apprentice. I'd make sure that they knew each other. I'd start them on that job, whether it was a 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or 4 hours, obviously size of the job dependent, and make sure everyone got along, all good. I'm gonna have smoker with you guys on that as well. If your builder or client's breaking twice, break twice. If they're breaking once, break once. Make sure you're breaking bread with people and building relationships, but you've got to nurture that relationship. You've got to make sure that it's handed over properly, the job started properly, the scope of works is clearly communicated, the pathway is clearly communicated. It's funny with quoting stuff, chances are if it's a quoted job, you've looked at those plans for 3 to 6 months. You know the riser pathways, where the cable tray is, where the downlight at the front of the second bedroom is, the smoke detectors, the data, the home automation situation. Stuff, you've been looking at it, and sometimes we walk away too early and we drive away to the next job, leaving someone, we think they're capable, we think they're confident, but we've been talking about this job all year, and they've just got there now. So it needs nurturing, it needs handover, it needs thought, it needs consideration from both sides. So my encouragement to you, as you grow the business, you got to reflect, okay, does the price book need to change, right? Does the process need to be updated? The process guides the people. All the process does, like a system, like a rough-in checklist or a job notes checklist or some kind of checklist, all it does is give the people a checklist. Has this been done? Has this been done? Has this been done? Because I know you could turn up to a house tomorrow and rough it in according to plan, no mistakes, no issues, all good. But chances are you are the variable. You are a business owner. You have... you probably did that for someone else, but hey, you're also, excuse me, you're also destined to work for yourself, right? So it's like there's weapon tradies out there who can just get it. They can slot into the culture and just get it done. Find those people. When you find those people, grab a hold of them and never let them go, right? Because they are an absolute asset to your business. Without them, without staff, you don't have a business. Without a business, you don't have an asset, right? So, and interestingly enough, coming back to where we started at the beginning, if you're looking at it, right, if you're required on the tools a lot, and you're required and you're like, oh, no, I can't get out because that client's expecting me, then you don't have an asset of a business, you've got a liability, because it's something you've got to be at, and it's something that can't grow because you're needed everywhere. So it's only going to come a matter of time before the 2 or 3 major clients want you at the same job, not same job, but on the same day. And then you're going to have to make a choice between A, B, and C, and you're going to let someone down. Once you let someone down, you draw an alarm bell. Once you let off the alarm bell, you risk losing the client. So, and if you want to go on holidays, you can't because, you're needed. And, there's no staying by yourself or as a really small team. You're just really limited in your capability, really limited in who you send where, really limited in how your business operates. But if you can grow the team and grow it well, that's a big thing we're talking about here, how to grow it well. You see a lot of, ads on Instagram of I grew my business 200%, 500%, 600. Who cares? like who actually cares? Is it profitable? Is it healthy? Are you happy? Right? Where I think what we nail as Sparky Coach is people come in and we just stabilize. Like, I'm not saying you can't scale, but we don't want to scale if our foundations are incorrect. You don't want to build the high rise if there's no basement to hold it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just going to crumble. You're going to be that person at the pub going, I used to have 6 to 8 staff, it just doesn't work, right? Like, I used to do that, it just doesn't work. Like, scaling is like, it's not all like, it's not the be all and end all. Let's get our stabilization happening first. Let's when people come into us, we go through like a 3-pack. Let's get your cost of operations sorted. Let's get your work out what your hourly rate needs to be. Let's start to build a price book. Let's measure your billable hours, and let's get the foundations correct, because so many people aren't doing the little things well. As a business owner, you're probably just not doing the 5 or 10 little things you need to do well. So my encouragement to you is do it well. Stop being so manic. Stop being so rushed. Stop being so crazy. Stop being so like, not everything is life or death. Things can wait, right? So in your business, when you're approaching these growth stages, a few things to look at. How is the price book? How is my billable hours? How is my profit? Am I willing to take some of that profit and chuck it into the next van? Take some of that profit, chuck it into an admin. Take some of that profit, chuck it into the operations manager. Am I willing to sacrifice to get to the next level? Because it will cost something. It will cost time. It will cost energy. It will cost effort. It will cost some finances. Is that what you want to do? And maybe sometimes it's out of your control. So the clients might dictate that, right? If the client wants something and they want it done, and the client goes on, hey, I've got a cost plus job or a quota job for 5 people for a year, the growth of your business might be out of your hands, out of your control. So what am I trying to say? My encouragement to you is beware the midriff. Beware that mid stage of business where your pants aren't quite fitting anymore and your midriff's like sort of rising up. You know what I'm saying? Where you're sort of got that 3 to 6 staff or that 10 to 15 staff, and your price book needs to be updated, and your job description needs to be updated, and your staff need to have the process to guide them. If you can do that and do it well, if you can get in front of that builder and say, hey, the product's the same. The product's the same. We're guiding it here. Bit more expensive, but look how capable we are. You know, like you got to guide people through that. Don't be scared to have extra conversations at this point and do it really well. Will everyone come with you? All your clients come with you from day dot? You know, your ground zeros, will they come with you forever? Hopefully. But some maybe not. And some, if you've got to let them go, it might just be the best thing that ever happened to you. Letting that person go that's relying on you, that's dependent on you, that you need to be at their jobs to be profitable. What would I do in that situation? I'd have a conversation about, hey, the prices need to move north because of this, and this. And you would try and work it out first, but if it can't be worked out, it's not you, it's me. Right, we need to move on. We've got big fish to fry. We've got some money to make. We've got some time to buy back. We've got some holidays to have. We've got some family to spend time with. We've got our business to run. We've got our asset to keep or sell in the future. That's what we want. You know, you started the business because you created it, whether you knew it or not. You're creating an asset. You're creating a future for yourself and your family. So let's get the asset. Let's get the asset built. And at the end of 10-year plan, I'm going to say that what you want in 10 years is you want either you want the business to be an asset. In other words, you can sell it if you want or keep it if you choose to, right? That's what we want. We also want the asset, the business, to collect us more assets, a personal house or a commercial warehouse or something along the way, or investment properties. We also want time and money. That's pretty much what you want. So if it's just about money, you're going to come to the end of it and be like, you know, I've got heaps of money. Like, cool. It's about money, and that money can buy you back your time through employing people to do your job for you. It's about money, it's about time, it's about assets, and it's about working smarter, not working harder. So in the growth stage of your business, my encouragement to you is to lean in. What is it telling you? What's your price book telling you? What's your schedule telling you? What are your staff telling you? What are your clients telling you? What if you looked at it? What are you telling you? Are you on the track for your 10-year plan, or are you just stuck in the hamster wheel, stuck in the dryer, stuck in the washing machine, stuck on repeat? You know when your Spotify is just stuck on loop, just going like the same songs playing over and over again? Don't do that in your business. So think smart, work smarter, not work harder. We are Sparky Coach. Embrace the midriff, embrace the wobbles, and we'll hear from you soon. Thanks for hanging out. Crowie here. See you soon.